friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, and today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I've read for the month of August. So I read a total of 6 books, and those books are Love and Gelato by Jenna Welch, Better Than the Movies by Lynn, The Cleaving by Juliet McKenna, Wait for Me by Jody Hedlund, Morgan is My Name by Sophie Keech, and The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England by Sanderson. So we start off with Love and Gelato by Jenna Welch. This is a young adult rom-com set in Italy, and it's just really super cute, and it was a lot of fun to read. So first off, this book is super clean, so if you're looking for a clean, cute, easy read, this is the book for you. So we follow our main character, Lena, and unfortunately her mother has passed away. And her mother's dying wish is for Lena to go to Italy and reconnect with her father that she knows nothing about until her mother passed. So reconnect with her father and discover her own journey and romance and to find herself, basically, because her mother had a great experience there when she got out of college or was in college. So Lena goes to Tuscany. It's more like Florence. It's in Tuscany, but it's Florence. And she has to stay with her father, Howard, and he lives in a cemetery, and that's very unnerving to her. And she's not really sure if Italy is going to be a great fit for her. So she might want to move back to the States with her friend, but she meets a boy named Ren, and they hit it off, and they're very good friends. They start to develop a good friendship and a little romance, possibly, along the way. And basically, Lena gets a journal from someone who was living there that was her mother's. So Lena is looking at the journal, reading the journal, and she is discovering that Howard may not be her father. So she kind of has to connect the dots, go through a little investigation and a journey to see who her real father is. But I do love that there is a great found family in this book. That was very heartwarming to me. So this was just a great book, and it was a lot of fun. This one was a 4 out of 5 stars for me. Okay, next up is Better Than the Movies by Lynn. This is also a young adult rom-com, and this is about Liz and Wes. They are neighbors and childhood enemies, frenemies, whatever. So they have grown up together, and they kind of didn't always get along per se, especially closer to high school. They really didn't get along at all. So Liz's crush, Michael, moves back into town, and Wes helps Liz basically get Michael. So in order to do so, what they do is some things happen, and they are basically fake dating, okay? And there's some fake dating involved, and Wes is along the way is putting Liz into Michael's good books and so forth. So, but obviously what happens is Liz and Wes start to develop feelings for each other, and they may not be as bad as each other thinks. If you hear a squeaking noise, that's my dog playing with her toy. Sorry about that. So yes, so of course we have enemies to lovers, and it's very fun and cute, has a cute happy ending. I will say this book is targeted for tweens and older. It's young adult, but there was a few bits of language in here, so just keep that in mind. So other than that, it was fun. I liked it. This was 4 out of 5 stars. Okay, next I read The Cleaving by Juliet McKenna. This is an adult fantasy Arthurian retelling. So this book was really interesting to me. So basically we have the story set through the eyes of the 4 female leads: Nimue, the Lady Igraine, Morgana, and Guinevere. And I really liked this one because it's written in third person, but through the eyes of Nimue. And I don't have a lot of knowledge about that character in the lore. All I know her from is the BBC show Merlin, and she is a bad character. So in this book, she is definitely more of a protagonist. She's good. She is very loyal to the... Come here. She is very loyal to the women she serves throughout her life. And so she is like Merlin. She has magic, and she's not just a regular human. She belongs to the people of the old ways. And she, first off, our story takes us, she is a servant for the Lady Igraine and her husband Gorlois. And if you're not familiar with the Arthurian story, basically Gorlois gets killed by Uther Pendragon, and Uther marries Igraine, and they have Arthur, etc. And then from there our story takes off. Well, she first serves Lady Igraine, and then throughout the story she goes to serve Morgana, and then by the end of our story she is serving the Queen Guinevere at Camelot. And I just really liked the story through her eyes. It was very interesting. I thought it was extremely well written. And like I said, being through the eyes of Nimue, I thought that was a cool viewpoint. There was lots of lore used. I did enjoy the fact that there was lots of things taken from different accounts of the legend. One of my favorite parts actually was when Nimue and Merlin were having a little magic battle in a cave, and it reminded me exactly of The Sword and the Stone with Madame Mim and Merlin. It was hilarious. Like, that was great. But it was also very serious in nature. I will say one thing I didn't like, and this is just personal preference, is the fact that Merlin was more of an antagonist. Like, he was kind of like not on the nice side, I should say. And I am so used to Merlin being like on the good side. I love the BBC show Merlin, and so that was interesting. That was weird. That was different. Sorry, different, not weird. But I really liked this book. I will say there were a few trigger warnings. There was a rape scene in the beginning of the book, and yeah, that I did not like. That's personal preference myself. There were a few handfuls of language, so it was not the cleanest book, and a few other things that were not as clean. Setting that aside, I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was fun and good, basically. So that was a 4.5 out of 5 stars for me on that one. All right, next up, I read Wait For Me by Jody Hedlund. This is an adult Christian fantasy, and it has time traveling in this one. So this one was really, really good. This is the fourth in a series, the fourth book in a series. So from the third book, we follow the main character's brother, okay? So now he's the main character in this book. And we follow him. His name is Dawson, and he goes back into time, into the 14th century. I'm trying to get the exact date and I cannot remember it. 1300s basically. And he has to help this lady, her name is Lady Philippa, escape from an arranged marriage that she does not want to be in. So basically he goes back in time to help her, and I'm not going to give it too much away because you really have to start with the first book in this series. The first book is called Come Back to Me, and it's by Jody Hedlund, and you really have to start with it because if I give too much away, it's going to ruin the other 3 books, in my opinion. But this is a time traveling book. It was very clean. It was very good. I rated this one, what did I rate this one? 4.5 out of 5. I really liked it. Okay, the 5th book that I read is Morgan Is My Name by Sophie Keech. This, again, is an Arthurian retelling. However, this is strictly from the viewpoint of Morgana, or Morgan Le Fay, whoever you call her by, whatever name you call her by. And this one was good. I didn't like it quite as much as the Cleaving, but it was still good. It is a little slower in my opinion, but I was very happy to discover that it is actually the first book in a trilogy. So that makes a lot more sense. I didn't realize that when I picked it up. And I'm thinking, man, this is gonna end rather abruptly. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is, I looked it up and this is a trilogy. So that makes more sense. Okay, so this one goes from birth to right after Arthur becomes king. Okay, so this first book, and it's set through the eyes of Morgan. She goes by Morgan, and it's good. It's very good. There are several trigger warnings in it. I will say it was better than it was cleaner than the Cleaving. Okay, it was cleaner than the Cleaving. However, there were several trigger warnings in it, and to me, I just sometimes get tired of reading about men being cruel to women. I just cannot stand it. I hate that abuse and stuff. But I will continue the series. I will, because I want to see what happens, and I'm very interested to see Morgan's personal growth and how she handles things. So the book ends with Arthur just being crowned king, basically, and so we're gonna go from there. So that's going to be very interesting. So yeah, I thought it was well written. Very well written, and again, lots of lore in this one also. So yeah, I'm going to continue it. This one was 4 out of 5 for me. 4 out of 5 stars. And then the last one was A Frugal Wizard's Handbook to Surviving Medieval England. I'm always afraid I'm going to butcher that name, and I probably have, I'm sure, by Brandon Sanderson. So this is his second book in his secret projects, and I actually enjoyed this one better than Tress of the Emerald Sea. I just did. I thought it was engaging. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was fun. I really liked there was a sci-fi aspect to it. It is very sci-fi, even though it's probably listed as adult fantasy. I really just enjoyed the role playing. It was almost like you were in a video game, kind of, and you were role playing. I thought it was very interesting. So I'm just gonna sum it up just briefly. Our main character gets transported back to a realm of medieval England. Everybody gets their personal realm. I mean, it is quirky and it's fun. And his handbook that he was supposed to take with him to help him along was blown up, except for several pages that he kind of just pieces together, and so he kind of gets a general idea. We as the reader get to actually see a lot of these pages and read some of the handbook. And those parts were fun because they were animated with little cartoon characters, and that was just a very cool aspect to the book. So he has to basically survive his time in medieval England without his handbook, and he discovers that people are after him. And then when he goes back at first, I did forget to mention this, he forgot his memory, forgot his memories, basically. He has amnesia. So he has to figure out who he is, first of all, and he pieces things together and discovers that he may not have been someone totally on the right side of Lady Law back in his time period, and there are some men after him. So he has to kind of work things out, and he has to help the local villagers, and he just goes through this fun little journey throughout the way. But I did enjoy this one. This one, I read that book in 2 days. I thought it was fun. I really liked it. Like I said, I think I liked the role-playing aspect of it, I guess. Like I was in a video game, maybe. So that one was fun. So yeah. So I rated that one a 4 out of 5. I liked that one a lot. Okay, so those were the 6. Man, I don't have my head screwed on. 6 books that I read in the month of August. So yeah, I thought I had a good reading month, and I was very proud of myself for reading 6 books, and we'll just have to see how September goes. So yes, there we have it. So yes, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this content this afternoon, if you would please be so kind as to like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And again, thank you so much, and thanks for watching. Bye!